Hello and welcome back to another Radical Red Challenge run. Today I'm in Hoenn. I'm doing the second champion from Generation 3, Wallace. A couple of the monster abilities and some new moves to make him a bit more viable. First we've got Ludicolo holding the Life Orb with Swift Swim and Weather Ball. We have the Black Sludge Tentacle with a pretty standard moveset, Toxic Spikes, hopefully we'll get set up, Leftovers Milotic, Toxic Protect, Citrus Berry Wailord who has Blubber Defense, which is essentially multi-scale or Shadow Shield, and we're running Rain Dance to set the rain. We have Focus Sash Wish Cash with Cash Splash, which is essentially Water Bubble, with Dragon Dance and Earthquake, and Adamant Gyarados, who's going to Mega Evolve and hopefully sweep some of the fights. Up first, I'm against Lorelei, and we have a mirror match against her water types. I can't click any water type moves turn 1 because the Ogerpon has Water Absorb. So Giga Drain from Ludicolo does a little bit of damage, Horn Leech does about half to Tentacruel, and Sludge Bomb is able to bring the Ogerpon low. I will be able to finish off the Ogerpon next turn, and then set up a layer of Toxic Spikes with my Tentacruel. I'm not too worried about the Politoed, it's not doing too much damage, and even though my Ludicolo is burned, it's a special attacker, so it doesn't really matter. Walking Wake then comes in, who will do a lot of damage to my Ludicolo with Hurricane. So I Giga Drain the Politoed for health, get back to full, as Hurricane would have taken me out without that extra health. I set up the second layer of Toxic Spikes, I get burned again with another Scald. Lorelei's just a bit different, I guess. Ludicolo goes down to the burn, and I'll get a free switch, and I'm going to go into my Milotic, as it's pretty specially bulky, and there's two special attackers out on the field. Dragon Pulse finishes off Tentacruel, as we get a massive Ice Beam off on the Walking Wake, bringing it low, and Milotic doesn't take too much damage. I then send out my Gyarados, who's able to get an Intimidate off, meaning that I know I have a free turn on the Politoed this turn, as it's going to click Haze to get rid of the Intimidate. I do just Mega Evolve to take the Dragon Pulse better, finish off the Politoed, and Dragon Dance with my Gyarados. After taking it out, meaning no Haze and I keep my boost. Iron Bundle then comes in, gets badly poisoned by the two layers of Toxic Spikes. I protect with Milotic, go for Earthquake with Gyarados. Unfortunately I don't outspeed the Iron Bundle, but I live the Freeze Dry, get a massive Earthquake off, finish off the Walking Wake, and bring the Iron Bundle below half. Kyogre then comes in. It's a lot less of a threat because it's got the Toxic Poison on it, meaning it's on a timer. I go for attacks with both of my Mons, knowing that Gyarados is going to go down to the Iron Bundle, and a Thunder isn't quite enough to take out Milotic. We're able to finish off the Iron Bundle, let the Toxic start ticking away at the Kyogre, and send in my Whiscash. Both Swampert and Kyogre are now on timers, so I can protect with Milotic, hoping that they both go for that slot. They don't. Swampert attacks my Whiscash and Kyogre goes for a spread move. So Whiscash just goes down without doing anything. But I've got my Wailord in the back with its Blubber Defense, meaning I know I'll be able to take one hit really well. And go for Bouncy Bubble to get some HP back. Milotic does end up going down to the Thunder from Kyogre, but Bouncy Bubble into the Swampert in the heavy rain does a lot of damage. And combined with the Toxic ticking away at both the Mons, Wailord's in a pretty good position here. One more turn and Swampert is going to go down, and even though it's power up punching, it's not doing too much to my Wailord. Thunder, however, does a lot. We just need to break through this paralysis. We do. We get some HP back from the Swampert. As Kyogre gets brought lower, we break through the paralysis, hit the protect, and we can watch as Kyogre falls down to one last tick of poison. Up next, we of course have Bruno. He leads with his Great Tusk, and we lead with our Gyarados. I did give Gyarados the Mental Herb for this fight in case we came up against the Infinite, because then I'd be able to just set up a sweep. However, I switch straight into Tentacruel when I see it's the Great Tusk, because I'm running Rapid Spin, and I can get rid of hazards on my side of the field. I get lucky with the burn, and now I can take this as an opportunity to set up the Gyarados. I could send Gyarados back out, and here I can get a free Dragon Dance off as the Close Combat comes in and does absolutely nothing. The reason I didn't Mega Evolve is because I changed to a Dark type when I do, and Close Combat would do a lot more. I do decide to Mega Evolve this turn as Zacian comes in. Wild Charge doesn't actually take me out because I used 4 times weakness. Earthquake is able to take it out instead as Urshifu comes in. Against the Urshifu, I do just go for the Earthquake. We do massive damage. Unfortunately not quite taking it out, but we've done more than enough damage where we can finish it off with another Mon. I go into Milotic, and then switch into Whiscash. I was trying to bait the Thunder Punch, so then I wouldn't take any damage, but I guess I got red, and Iron Hands comes in. I get faked out, go for the Dragon Dance with Whiscash, as the Iron Hands does Drain Punch, and do decent damage. Then thanks to the ability Cash Splash, my water moves do a lot more damage, so I go for that instead of Earthquake, because I also have the added effect of potentially getting a defense drop. We don't get it, but I'm then able to send in my Wailord, who's able to live a Plasma Fist thanks to the Blubber defense, set up the rain, as the Iron Hands will go down to the last tick of Toxic as I let Wailord fall to 1 more Plasma Fist. And now I can send Ludicolo in to start doing some damage. We have the rain set up, meaning we know we outspeed thanks to our Swift Swim ability. Giga Drain finishes off Urshifu. In comes the Iron Valiant. It gets poisoned by the Toxic Spikes. It actually still outspeeds Ludicolo, even through the Swift Swim, but we live the attack, Weather Ball finishes it off, leaving just the Mega Lucario left. We outspeed thanks to Swift Swim, and Weather Ball does so much damage, it actually one-shots. And we take out Bruno, and make our way through to Agatha. Because I'm running Toxic, I knew the Zoroark was going to go for Taunt. Instead it just switches out into Flutter Mane, and I get some free damage off on the Flutter Mane instead. I get the Burn, and then the Flutter Mane switches out for some reason without doing anything to my Milotic. I go for a couple of Scalds on the Golden Go. I Protect when it Nasty Plots, as Agatha manages to read me. Shadow Ball then does a whole lot of damage and brings me down low, but Golden Go is also really low. Here, Melodic does go down. For now, I just want to send in my Gyarados, who, after Mega Evolving, should outspeed, or at least resist the Shadow Ball well. We Earthquake the Golden Go, finish it off. I take a bit more damage than I wanted to from the Golden Go, but the Zoroark comes in. I thought it was Gengar, that's why I went for Earthquake, because once it Mega Evolves, it obviously just Levitate, so it was always going to be a free play. I'm not going to click Optic Spikes against the Zoroark, because it has Taunt. I just go for the kill with Tentacruel, finish it off, and Marshadow comes in. I do go for the Scald, as I'm hoping for a burn. I get it, quite lucky we get the burn first turn, but now the Marshadow is really limited in the amount of damage it can put out. It goes for Spectral Feed. I don't have any buffs though, so can't steal anything. We take it out with one more Scald, as the Taunt wears off. I just go for a Scald on the Mega Gengar, as it goes for a Nasty Plot, which is kind of scary, because Mega Gengar could potentially sweep. It takes out my Tentacruel with a Shadow Ball. I do have the Focus Sash on Whiscash though, so I know I can live the Shadow Ball, Earthquake the Gengar, and take it out. I didn't actually need the Focus Sash, I lived them anyway, but I have the insurance. Ice Shard then takes out Whiscash from Chien-Pao, as I do go into my Gyarados, hoping that I'd outspeed. I don't. Sacred Sword does end up taking me out, so I send in Wailord to go with the reliable play of going for Bouncy Bubble. Once the Flutter Mane comes in, it goes for Moonblast, tank it really well thanks to the defense, set up the rain with Rain Dance, as the Flutter Mane gets weaker and weaker. I could have protected there to store to get a bit more damage with Burn, but it didn't matter, and I want the rain to be up once Wailord goes down, so then Ludicolo can finish off the remaining Mons. I go for a Bouncy Bubble on the Chien-Pao, bring it down below half. Sacred Sword does massive damage, but I am able to 1v1 with Wailord, finish off the Chien-Pao, and there goes Agatha. I didn't actually need Ludicolo. Up next is Lance. I did lead with Tentacruel to bait the Earthquake, go into Gyarados to get the Intimidate off, and then straight back into Tentacruel to Whiscash in order to get some damage off on Garchomp and break his Sash. We do massive damage with Liquidation. We do take a bit of damage in return with the Rough Skin. Get another Liquidation off and break the Dragonite's Multiscale, as it does start Dragon Dancing. Liquidation does decent damage though, and we do get a defense drop as Dragonite decides to Dragon Dance again. I'm able to get another Liquidation off, bring the Dragonite down to red, and then send in my Milotic. I was debating sending in Tentacruel, but Milotic's more bulky, and after the Protect, I should be able to live any of the hits and go for Ice Beam. Lance recognises that as well and switches out into his Dialga, who's incredibly bulky. Unfortunately, I didn't have a solid answer for Dialga with this team, so I had to go for... I was fishing for a Frostbite with Ice Beam, I didn't get it. I get roared into Tentacruel though, who can Rapid Spin and get rid of the Stealth Rocks, making this fight a lot more manageable. And also preserving Wailord's Beloved Defense. I'm then able to go for Rain Dance with Wailord, power up my water moves, because that's going to do the most damage to this Dialga. Then I go for Scald with Maltic. I do get the burn, which is fine. I would have preferred the Frostbite, but burn is still residual damage, and means we're able to take away at its health. I actually get a crit with Tentacruel, as I get Roar of Time out one more time. Ludicolo gets sent out. The Dialga's low enough to where we know Weather Ball is going to be able to finish it off. Down goes the Dialga. With the Dialga gone, Melmetal comes in. And the amount of damage, this is an Assault Vested Melmetal with a resisted Weather Ball, and I still do 70% with Ludicolo, showing just how absurd the damage that it can put out is. We don't go down to the Double Iron Bash, but I do want to switch here, because I want to preserve Ludicolo in case I need it later in the fight. I sack up Tentacruel, as Melmetal goes for Earthquake, and then send in Wailord, and set up the Rain once again. Thunder Punch does a lot to Wailord, but we gain a bit of HP back with our Citrus. Bouncy Bubble is able to finish off the Melmetal, even through the Assault Vest, thanks to the boost we got in the rain. Iron Jugular then comes in, goes for the Aeroblast, we avoid the crit, go for another Bouncy Bubble, bring it down pretty low. Unfortunately, then Dark Hole does end up taking down Wailord. Fortunately, I still have the Rain up, which means Ludicolo outspeeds, can go for Weather Ball, finish off the Iron Jug, and in comes Salamence. The rain did end, meaning that Ludicolo was useless for the rest of this fight, so I just let Salamence take it out. Go into my Gyarados and get the Intimidate off. Here I do go for one Dragon Dance, as I match the Salamence, but Salamence is only neutral, so I know I'm able to take the Double Edge which is coming relatively well with Gyarados, and kill with an Ice Fang. In comes Garchomp. I go for Earthquake here because I want to avoid the rough skin damage, meaning that Dragonite can no longer take me out with extreme speed, meaning I have a clean end to the fight with one more Ice Fang, and down goes Lance. Meaning we've just got the champion left to face. Against the Pheromosa, I lead with Milotic. I go for Toxic, as I was expecting it to U-turn, but I'll take a Toxic on the Pheromosa anyway, to break its sash. We tank the close combat, protect for a bit of recovery with lefties, and then I do end up switching into Gyarados to intimidate down the Pheromosa as it's going for close combat. I'm then able to take a Triple Axle pretty well, as I go for a Dragon Dance with Gyarados. And then it then U-turns out, as I go for another Dragon Dance with my Gyarados. Mega Evolve as the Eternatus comes in, because at +2, I'll be able to do a lot of damage to the champion's team. Earthquake one-shots the Eternatus. Yveltal comes in. Here I go for Dragon Dance, because I'm so low, Yveltal would have gone for Sucker Punch and taken me out. But instead I can just get stronger and then take it out with an Aqua Fang. Then able to outspeed the Pheromosa once again, finish it off with an Aqua Fang. Metagross comes in. I go for the Earthquake, hoping that Bullet Punch isn't enough to take me out. It doesn't go for it, so it wasn't, and Earthquake is. The Miraidon then comes in. I'm able to... I was debating switching here, because Gyarados is so strong and the Ditto's in the back, but instead I just take out the Miraidon as the Ditto comes in and copies my Gyarados. However, the reason I wasn't worried is because I have 5 ones in the back, and because I have Protect, meaning I can stall out the Ditto's moves. I am able to get a Toxicroak with Tentacle as we live the Aquafang. Go for Protect. The reason why I'm actually able to stall out this Ditto is because it has limited PP. It only has a maximum of 5 for every move, and it is Choice Scarf, so it only has 5 moves. Meaning, so as long as we wait 5 turns, we're going to force it to struggle. I didn't need to wait that long. I actually had enough power with just Tentacruel and Whiscash to just take out Gyarados. Meaning it was honestly one of the easier champion fights. The only reason it was so easy is because Pheromosa actually stayed in. I was expecting it to U-turn, but I'm not complaining. Wallace managed to beat some foreign champion, and honestly, it was a pretty fun team to use. I just wish he had a Drizzle user instead of manually setting Rain Dance.